Setting it up, setting it up, setting it up. All right. Instagram, we are in a podcast with Emma Knight. Okay, we are live on all these platforms. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So just hang out for a second and here we go. Welcome to the Corners In podcast on the Prospect Dugout Network. I am your host, Joel Hartman. You can follow me on Instagram at Hardy02. I would greatly appreciate that. Just a couple things just one thing, because I want to get into the podcast. One thing to talk about, and we talked about this morning, Craig and I, on our Cup of Coffee podcast, the new format for the MLB draft, which is being shortened to five rounds. So we went through our thoughts on that, but really talking about it kind of changed my perspective. I think college baseball is going to get better. High school baseball, obviously the kids can't go from high school to a lower round draft pick, but they can still sign as a free agent. But I think college is going to get better. College baseball is going to get better because a lot of those players that would get drafted at the lower levels are just going to go to college. It's going to increase those roster sizes and the skill level. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, tomorrow night we have Kicking It with your boy Swish. Nick Swisher is the host of a really cool series where players, parents, fans can call in and chat with Nick Swisher, 2009 World Series champion with the New York Yankees, special advisor to the general manager of the New York Yankees, Brian Cashman. So the dude knows what he's talking about. Fiery personality. It's a great environment. It's an awesome experience, and you'll learn a lot. It goes live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, not Instagram. Sorry about that. If you'd like to see your video posted on Prospect Dugout, and Emma knows this, you just got to keep reaching out. You can send an email to info@prospectdugout.com with your username in the subject line. That's all I need is your username and then the content in the email. And then we'll get it posted for you. Got thousands of people in queue, so you'll get there. Today, May 11th, 2020, in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic, I am joined by Emma Knight, a young softball player. Well, I'll just let you tell everybody where you're from and tell us who you are. So Emma, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Emma. Okay, I'm from a little town in Yanis. Probably none of y'all know where that is. I started to play softball when I was about 5, I think, and I haven't stopped since.
How old are you now?
I am 12, about to be 13.
Okay.
And kind of all I do.
Yeah. So tell me about tell me about you were telling me that you were working out this morning and then hitting at 12:30. So we had to schedule this podcast in between, and I hope I don't mess that up. But tell me about where you're at right now and where you hit and work out at.
So I'll work out in just like a little extra room we have in our house, and then we live on like a 10-acre property, and then so we have a shop up just a couple feet up by our house, and then a few years back my dad built an indoor cage with us, and it has like air conditioning stuff, so I can hit all year round, which is a thing I have, and I'm very thankful for it.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. So you say us, so do you have any siblings?
No, I don't.
Okay, so when you say us, you mean we're all in it together, you, your mom, and your dad.
Yeah.
So tell me about the team that you play for softball.
So I play for Bombers Gold Crabtree, and we just got ranked second for our for the rankings this year, and this is like one of the best teams I've ever played on. And Cassie is the best coach I've ever had. Really, she pushes you till your tank is empty, and then pushes you more. Like she gets the little everything out of you, no matter what you're doing and anything. Makes you give 100% effort, which I think has made me grow as a softball player, and then it's just going to help me all throughout my lifetime.
So you like being pushed then? You like being when you're being coached? Yeah. So tell me why exactly is that? Do you feel like you have more left in the tank that you're not accessing? Do you feel like maybe it just helps you stay a little bit more focused? Why is that?
I feel like everybody will stop at some point when they're hurting and feel like they can't go anymore, but she knows that you can. She pushes you more, and I just feel like that's a really good thing for you because it tells you how much you have more to give and stuff. And because I feel like back in the past, maybe sometimes people would just kind of give up when things started to ache or hurt or something, but she makes you push that little bit left out of you.
So do you think that that's something that you as a player, as an individual, has have kind of input into your own life? So you said you like being pushed, you like, it's really a mind over matter thing because you said,
Hmm.
people will give up or they'll stop. So like it's a mind over matter thing. Obviously, you have it because you recognize it, but is it something that maybe you learned from this coach or learned in the game of softball, or is it something you
Uh,
always had?
Kind of a mixture of all of them. I mean, I think I had like a little bit of it, but I just kind of didn't really realize it. Then softball kind of taught me a lot of things, but one of those things is that. And then I feel like Cassie had the biggest impact on it, though.
So
She,
Cassie, what's Cassie's last name?
Crabtree, that's the coach,
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay. Um, so tell me about. Oh, there's Noah Vaughn. Do you know who Noah Vaughn is? Riley Sarton's husband.
Yes.
He's pretty cool. I had him on the podcast the other day. I haven't released it yet. I'm going to release that soon. But what I was going to say was, tell us. First of all, we're on the Corners In podcast with Emma Knight. 2025,
Yes.
2025 softball player out of Texas. Tell us what kind of a softball player you are.
Um, Kind of, I don't know. Uh,
What position do you
I'm
play?
I'm corners and a catcher.
Okay.
I think my main position would probably be third. That's kind of what I enjoy the most. But then I love catching too. I love it all. But if
Why do you enjoy third base the most?
I don't know, I just love like kind of the thrill of it almost because you're so close up, and then it's just you have to have quick movements,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of a really energetic thing.
I
And
feel like
then
with catching, you're always involved in every single play. But then when I think of a third baseman in softball, you're literally like standing next to the batter. So
yeah.
like I feel like you're involved in every play as well. Even if you don't get the ball, like
Mhm.
that could be like a little bunt or a little hit. I feel like you're involved in every play.
But my main thing is hitting, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love, and that's what I want to be known for. I don't want to be known for, I mean, I like being a fielder too, but then what I work at is hitting, and then that's just what I love.
I just saw I'm smiling because I just read a comment on the IG live. It says, and she can shoot the J. So I've seen in your actually sent me a couple videos. You have, I don't even know what it's called, but it's some sort of contraption where you shoot,
Yeah.
and then if you miss, it goes into the net and comes back to you, or if you make it, it drops in and comes. So tell me about your basketball skills.
So that is a gun. I got it. It was a Christmas gift. I really, really wanted one. And Um, I've played basketball, like little dribblers and stuff. I love to play basketball too. Basketball and softball are my two main things,
Mm-hmm.
but softball towers it. But um, if I didn't play softball, I would go to basketball definitely. But I love working on my shot and stuff, and it's a really good time to work on it right now because there's no practice or
Mm-hmm.
anything right
Mm-hmm.
now.
How do you think that correlates to, so like you say you love playing basketball, but softball is your
So
real love, right? But you still enjoy playing basketball. So how does that relate to you as a softball player? Does that have any impact on you?
um, yeah, it kind of teaches me to, again, back to the push yourself and stuff because I'd say basketball, there's a lot more running and stuff in it.
Hmm.
So it kind of, you can keep going. And then it kind of helps me on physical things and
Hmm.
stuff, and also on mental things because
Yeah.
sometimes you'll have days of you'll have a really good shot on, but it's just not going in. And I mean, of course, you're going to get frustrated, but then you also have to realize you're doing your mechanics and stuff all right, but it's just not your J. You're going to have
Hmm.
days like that.
Hmm.
And then it helps me with softball because there's going to be days that aren't your days. You can be given 100% effort, and then you're just struggling throughout.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
thinking about it right now, like, and watching some of those videos with that contraption, like you're literally sitting there taking shot after shot after shot after shot. So from a mental standpoint, think about this. Like in softball, you go 3 for 10. That's good. Like
Mhm.
baseball, 3 for 10, you're good, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking 10 shots, you're failing 7 times, you're successful 3 times. But how long does it take you to get those 10 at bats? It takes you like 3 games, right?
Yeah.
Basketball, you might go out there into a game and take, 25 shots in a game.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna sit and you can take reps off a tee or in the cage or whatever, but like it's not game situation. You can go play one-on-one, and that's really close to a game situation
Yeah.
basketball. So I feel like it's teaching you some sort of patience as well, because you're taking a lot of chances in basketball and you go over to softball. And if you fail, you can't just hop back up and take another chance on offense. You can go back out there on defense or go back out there and motivate your teammates. So I feel like that's really cool for you to understand that, that there's a correlation in those sports on the mental side. I think that's really cool. So I want to know, what type of a hitter are you? We're just getting into your hitting. That's what I was going to ask. What type of, are you a power hitter, slap hitter? Like, what do you do? I know you drive the ball right back up the middle all the time in your videos on Instagram, but tell me what kind of hitter you are.
I'm definitely a power hitter. Um, so I'm also kind of a situational hitter,
Mhm.
but like not one just a bunt. I I've been told I have like a high softball IQ and stuff. So like if there's a runner on first, and we're down by one or something, I can tell like kind of where I need to kind of almost pull the ball or drive it oppo.
Mhm.
And I rarely ever lay a bunt, like maybe once a year.
Once a year. Oh my gosh. Where do you bat in the lineup?
I it's kind of changed. So I was batting third. So basically, yeah, third, and then to
So like
kind of
middle of the
depends,
lineup.
mhm,
Yeah.
third or fourth. But then I kind of almost talked about going like uh fourth, or I mean second or something,
Mhm.
because I don't know. It's just
So
kind of
you're 12 years old, and we're having a conversation about where you're batting in the lineup, and you're getting ready to tell me a reason why you want to bat second. So like I feel like you do have a high softball IQ. I feel like in the game, as you get older, and you're gonna recognize this firsthand. You might already know this, but when you get to high school, when you get to college, when you get to the professional level, each level that you move up, even inside the game itself. So when you go from a freshman in high school to a sophomore, junior, senior, you're going to realize that A, players that you were playing with are going away,
yeah,
and B, the players that you are playing with are better and more knowledgeable. So it's not just about how hard you can hit the ball, how fast you can run, how good you are at defense or catching. It does none of that matters when you get to that level. When you get to that level, everybody's good. It just, the thing that separates people and how they get to the next level is their IQ. So I feel like you at 12 years old, and the things that you're talking about and just the way that you're composing yourself, I feel like you're ahead of the game. I think that's really cool. But tell me, why do you want to bat second?
it's not necessarily I want to. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't really care where I hit. I just want to hit. And then, but second, I mean, I've maybe done it like once or twice in the game or so. But I'm just kind of like, I can say the first batter gets on. She's a fast runner and she's a lefty, and so I could I could hit a hard hit. They could catch it in there or something, but she could tag up and still get to the next base. And I mean, I did my job. I moved that player there. I mean, I don't really care. Well, it'd be a lot better if I got on, but
Mhm.
I did what I was kind of supposed to do. I moved that runner. And so I don't know. It just kind of helped. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So you sent me on Instagram, you sent pictures and information about like when you're going to softball camps and things like that. What's your dream college to play for?
So I kind of have top three schools right now. Mainly top two, but then like a top three is like really close to it. So there's definitely Notre Dame and A&M. Like those are definitely where I'd want to go.
I can see that on your
Or
shirt.
and then I've gone to one Duke camp, and that was really cool. I like that a lot. That put a lot of stuff in consideration too. So that's right up there with those two. And then of course I'd like to go to like academic schools, but
Yeah, that's
also
what I was gonna
play
say.
soccer.
Like Notre Dame, And
Hmm.
Duke, like, so you're good in school. Are you homeschooled or do you go to school?
I go to school.
Okay. I just wondered, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe you guys have a classroom that you built on your property.
No,
So
I
so
go.
your dream schools, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, and Duke. That's where you'd like to play college softball at. Obviously, I can tell that if you had the opportunity to play college softball anywhere, that you would
Yeah.
want to play college softball. But obviously, you want to have some goals and some dreams for that. So, what about after college?
I kind of want to go into like a sports type business, like being a sports and marketing and stuff, kind of in that, or I don't just something around sports. Don't really want to do sports broadcasting. I feel like that's kind of what almost a lot of softball players will go off and want to do. I kind of want to go start, I don't know, like a business or something, like, yeah, sports agent or something like that.
So you want to kind of be, you want to definitely be hands-on and involved, but you want to be behind the
Yeah.
scenes. You want to be behind the
Hmm.
scenes, not your face on camera, doing a lot of
Like
talking.
like a GM would be cool,
Yeah, for
and just
sure.
a lot of stuff kind of like that.
Yeah, I feel like we have those things in common. I like the behind the scenes
Hmm.
things. I definitely want to be a general manager or team owner one day. That's the goal, but you gotta take it step by step.
Yeah.
You're playing travel softball right now. Your IQ is up. You've got it like you're it's Monday and we're talking the other day trying to set up this podcast and you're like, "Well, I can do it Monday, but I have workouts in the morning and then I have hitting." So it's like you're 12 years old, you've got a good head on your shoulders, you got a schedule planned out. We're in quarantine during this crazy pandemic and you're staying focused. You're talking about how um you like to be pushed. You feel like people stop and give up too early, but you're the type of person that knows that there's more left in the tank. You just want to give it your all. And then you want to tell me that after you play college softball, you want to start a business and give back and help people out. So this is really cool to hear this about you. I got one more question for you here on the Corners In podcast with Emma Knight. So I read this morning actually. I'm subscribed to the Eric Burns F it email list, which is it's really cool. So he sends out daily emails, but today I want to read it to you. Do you mind?
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
So he said every day when we get up, we have a choice whether we're going to be a thermostat or a thermometer. I've heard this analogy used many times before and may have already written about it here in this daily hustle, but regardless, it's a good one that is definitely worth revisiting in the current times that we're living in right now. There are basically two types of people: those who are thermostats and those who are thermometers. The thermostats are the people who act independently of irrational emotions and constantly set the temperature of the room. These people are the leaders that smile in the face of adversity and refuse to get too high on the highs or too low on the lows. They are the stabilizing force amongst all the chaos and the pandemonium. The thermometers, on the other hand, are the puppets on a string, and their temperature gauge is completely dependent on external factors. They are forever being yo-yoed up and down by emotionally reacting to just about everything and taking their feelings way too personal. The thermometers can be calm and collected when others are calm and collected around them, but as soon as the stuff hits the fan, they completely lose their minds. In today's world, we need to realize that the media is doing everything in their power to raise the temperature of the thermometers. And although they may seem like irrational thermometers themselves, they're actually the sickly twisted thermostats that set the temperature on high, take a dump in the room, and then leave it on top of the heater. So basically, what he's saying is you can either be a person that sits back and sees what's going on and sets the tempo like what you're describing. You have a plan. You're 12 years old, you hit it, you're working out this morning, hitting this afternoon. You go to school, but you do a lot of stuff at the house. You're staying in shape. You're working on other skills as shooting around the hoop, and then you're talking about how you want to have a business after college, you want to go to an academic school. So I feel like in this instance you're kind of a thermostat where you're setting the temperature of your environment instead of riding a roller coaster of, oh crap, well I went 0 for 3, now I gotta figure this out, and then, oh, I went 4 for 4, yay, let's go. Like I feel like you're kind of steady. I thought that was really, really cool what Eric wrote. How do you feel about that? Do you think you're a thermostat?
Yes, I do. So I feel like I am one of those because I mean sometimes you'll get a little mad about if you go over three, but then you also it goes both ways, because you need to kind of not take it as a negative, but kind of look back as on it, like what did I do wrong, or is it just did were they good hits or just in the wrong place or something like that. Then I mean, I definitely do feel like that. I feel like I can relate to that a lot, and
I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, you have to acknowledge the 0 for 3, because if you don't, then how are you going to learn from it?
yeah,
There's absolutely no reason you shouldn't be upset about going 0 for 3. You want to get a hit. You want to be successful. You want to help your team out, right? But on the other hand, what was that 0 for 3? Was that 0 for 3 three ground balls to the right side with a runner on second and nobody out, and that run ended up scoring? So your 0 for 3
hmm,
is great. So I think it's very important. You hit the nail on the head. You have to look at what happened in that situation and kind of evaluate it instead of just reacting to it. Evaluate
yeah.
it. I think that's really cool. So actually, I want to ask you one more thing because I realized it's only been 19 minutes. Um, have you started like a business? Do you have anything going on now, or is that just something you want to wait until maybe you get a little older or after school?
Um, by business, like what do you mean? Like,
Like entrepreneurial style, like do you like garage sale and sell things? Do you
oh, well, no, not yet, really. I mean, I kind of think I want to wait more, kind of get more knowledge from, because I just watched a movie the other day, Moneyball.
mhm.
So yeah, I just watched that, and that kind of got me a little bit more interested in that kind of genre of job listing and stuff. So I think I kind of want to learn like a little bit more about it, and then I'll kind of maybe start working up towards that type of stuff.
Cool. Well, this has been the Corners In podcast with Emma Knight, 2025 softballer, stud power hitter, knows what she wants to do, has a good plan, has a schedule, has a routine, knows what she's going to do after she gets done playing softball. Is not going to do it yet because she knows she's not ready for that. But Emma, thank you for joining me on today's podcast. I do want to let you have the final word. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of read the rollout, and then I'm going to come back to you if that's okay.
Okay, that's good.
All right. So, like I said, this is the Corners In podcast here on the Prospect Dugout Network, joined by Emma Knight. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. I want you guys to go ahead on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter and comment. Let me know what you thought of this episode, any questions you have. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you're listening there. Or leave a review for our app, Prospect Dugout, in the App Store. That would be great. So now I'm going to take it back to Emma. Tell me one drill that you really enjoy using and how it has helped you. And then anything else you want to say after that.
Okay.
Give me about 2 minutes. 2 minutes just to go a drill that you really like, how it helps you, and then anything else you want to say.
Okay. I
Hitting
think a
drill.
drill, yeah. I think a drill that really has helped me is one hand drills, like with a little bat,
Mhm.
because sometimes like little things will creep in, and then sometimes that'll be like not staying in the knee or something, or rolling off and not getting extension. So I feel like you can kind of like slow everything down, kind of look at each little thing at one time, and then I feel like it just kind of shows you how one hand or how each part of your arms and stuff how to go into play in your swing and stuff. I think it helps me a lot because before I went to my now hitting coach, we never did that, and then I kind of was just that typical swing, that kind of almost pulls off sometimes, or just kind of. But then I got kind of introduced to that, and I feel like it's helped me a ton. So, and
That's
then
awesome.
um, either that one or also you like stop at bat lag and stuff, and then you kind of just go through it because
Mhm.
that breaks down even more, I think. But Um, those are probably my top two drills.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Emma Knight joining me, Joel Hartman, on the Corners In podcast here on the Prospect Dugout Network. You can listen to it on Spotify or Apple, or watch us Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night for Kicking It with your boy Swish, 6 p.m. Eastern, Facebook Live. Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.